Hey, today I'm working on my 2014 F-250 Super Duty, and I'm going to show you how to install the upfitter switches. Okay, and here is the wiring schematic for the factory upfitter switches. Right here's your upfitter switches. So this is what sits in the dash there, and then here's your switches 1, 2, 3, 4, and they illuminate. So here's the trickiest part of the whole deal, or I'm presuming is going to be the trickiest part, is we have to go all the way up here and find this connector C215. Okay, and it's going to be a little hidden, so we're going to try and track that down. Okay, here's connector 215. It's going to be gray, and this is what it's going to look like on the truck side. It's going to have 8 pins on there. This is connector 2300. This is the connector that plugs into the back of the upfitter switch. Okay, and here we are looking. This is the dashboard inside the truck. The arrow is pointing towards the front of the vehicle, so it'd be headlights. The steering wheel would be here. Passenger would be hanging out over there. So what we have to do is take off some panels here, reach our arm up, and find this connector 215, and it's going to be hanging out right there behind that those larger wiring harness wire limbs. So we're going to see how tricky it is to get to. Okay, and then here's our connector, the C215. That's what we're looking for, and it's given a description behind left hand side of instrument panel, under right hand side of the instrument cluster. So we're on the left side of the dash, but to the right of the instrument cluster. Here we are inside the truck, and as the description said, it's on the left hand side of the dashboard over here, and then to the right of the instrument cluster. So I'm thinking somewhere up in that region. So we'll see. I'm gonna start popping off some plastic panels so we can get a little bit better access. Kind of pop up. And this is the hardest one to come off. I cheated a little bit. You can see it's off, but it's kind of behind the door jamb weather stripping, and you gotta get it from underneath behind there, and it'll kind of come out this way and slide out. But that's what it looks like. It just got the clips there. All right, this little doodad's got to come out. And I put a switch in there, so it's going to dangle out of there. And that's going to be plugged into your cigarette lighter. There's just a little push tab on there. You push the tab, and that comes off. And then the coin jar here. Just get the screwdriver behind there, and I know I'm blocking all the light and stuff, but it just comes out like that. A couple of clips. Let's start digging and see if we can find that connector. Okay, I found the connector already. It was relatively easy to find. I don't know. I don't want to say anything bad about anybody else, but it was relatively easy to find. So the hardest part is going to be me getting you and the camera and the flashlight up in there to show you where the connector is. So let's do that. Okay, I already took one picture, and I showed you the view right up in here, right back up in there. So it's pretty far back there, and I'll show you that in a minute. So let's take the video camera down there, and I'll see if I can take you kind of step by step on. Okay, without being too shaky, I'm gonna see if I can take you kind of right up in there. One swoop. Steering column right there. Oh, and there it is. Okay, Now the only thing I did is there's a little plug that goes on the end of the connector there that I took off. And when you see it, it'll have this, that's not gonna focus, but it's clipped into this piece of plastic here. I guess I can try and put it back. There you go. So it'll be in that rubber piece, it'll be like that, and there'll be a gray plug on the end of it. So it'll just like it'll look blunt. And because I love you guys, I went ahead and put that little plug back in. And I'm losing focus and all that stuff, but you just take your finger and pull that out of there. And there's your connector. And I just wanted to give myself some more room. I wanted to make sure this was the right connector. So that's why I popped it off that little piece of plastic there. But now I'm gonna leave it because obviously that's gonna be pretty easy to plug in. Okay, so I'm trying to give you guys some references. Let me turn my camera if that's gonna be easier, but there it is. Okay, so gas pedal, brake pedal, right on up. And there it is. Okay. Kind of just try and give you guys a couple of different shots. And it might be hidden behind there a little bit. You know, it depends on how the plastic got molded and all that stuff. But there you have it. And then here's where the upfitter switches are going to fit in there. And then it'll have 4 separate switches there. And I'm using that instead of having to do this. I had to cut a hole in the back of here because this was used for nothing. And then I put a little switch in here. And that has to be on run ACC. You have to worry about all that. You got to make sure it's not powered up all the time. But you won't have to worry about any of that when you have these switches in. And then also I have my plow controller and salt spreader and all that stuff. So when I flick that switch, it flicks these on back here. And if I wanted to add anything else, there's no real other room for switches. I might be able to get one more in there, but it's kind of a pain to like reach over. That sounds terrible, but it is. It's kind of a pain to reach down in that compartment and hit a switch when you can just spend, it was like 160 bucks to have all your switches here, all your relays and wiring, and it's all going to be OEM stuff. It'll all be fused and protected. And most of all, it'll look cool.